Have you ever felt that unsettling rush of anxiety when plans go awry, or that quiet doubt creeping in when you face unexpected challenges? In today's fast-paced, unpredictable world, it often feels like we're constantly on the verge of losing control, swept away by endless demands and unforeseen events. We yearn for a sense of stability, a secret to staying grounded when everything around us seems to be spinning out of control. What if the most powerful tool for navigating this chaos isn't external wealth or influence, but an unwavering inner calm and an unshakable confidence that comes from mastering your own mind? For those of us in the 35 to 45 age range, we've lived through enough to know that life isn't a straight, easy path. We've seen plans crumble, relationships shift, and careers take unexpected turns. The conventional advice of just think positively often falls flat when real storms hit. What we truly need is a robust mental framework, a practical philosophy that equips us to face adversity, not with fear, but with fortitude. This isn't about becoming emotionless. It's about channeling your emotional energy wisely so you can respond with clarity and purpose rather than react impulsively. Are you ready to discover a strength so profound, so quiet, that it allows you to stand firm no matter how fierce the storm? Many believe true power lies in control over others or external circumstances, but history and profound wisdom teaches us otherwise. The real secret to success, to enduring happiness, and to a life lived with deep purpose lies within, in your mindset. If you're tired of feeling tossed about by external events and ready to anchor your inner world, then prepare to unlock a timeless wisdom that will transform how you perceive challenges and reclaim your inherent power. Welcome to StoicCraft, where we explore timeless wisdom to help you forge an unshakable mind and live a life of profound purpose and impact. Today we're diving deep into 10 core Stoic insights that will show you exactly how to cultivate unwavering calm and unshakable confidence, turning every challenge into an opportunity for growth and every moment into a chance to demonstrate your true strength. 1. You don't control the world. You control yourself. This is the bedrock of all Stoic wisdom. A profound truth that, once genuinely internalized, can liberate you from endless frustration and anxiety. We spend so much of our lives trying to manipulate external circumstances, complaining about the weather, getting angry at traffic, feeling let down by others' actions, or becoming confused and frustrated when meticulously crafted plans inevitably go awry. We operate under the illusion that our happiness and success depend on the world bending to our will. But the unvarnished reality, as taught by the ancient Stoics, is simple yet revolutionary. You don't control the world, nor do you control other people. The only thing you truly have dominion over, the only sphere where you possess absolute power, is your own inner world, your judgments, your impulses, your desires, your aversions, and most importantly, your reactions to external events. Consider the metaphor of a ship at sea. The captain cannot control the storms, the winds, or the unpredictable currents. To try to do so would be an act of utter madness and futility. However, the captain can control the setting of the sails, the steering of the rudder, the preparedness of the crew, and their own calm demeanor in the face of the tempest. Their power lies not in controlling the sea, but in mastering their own vessel and their response to the elements. When you waste your precious mental and emotional energy trying to change what is fundamentally unchangeable, you set yourself up for inevitable disappointment and suffering. You become a victim of circumstances, constantly buffeted by external forces. But when you courageously redirect that energy inward, focusing solely on cultivating your own character, your own responses, and your own virtues, you reclaim a profound sense of agency and inner peace. This doesn't mean you become passive or stop striving for goals. It means you approach life with a deep understanding of where your true power lies. You work diligently on your projects, but you accept that their outcome is not entirely within your control. You communicate clearly with others, but you release the need to control their reactions. You prepare for challenges, but you embrace the uncertainty that is inherent in life. So how do you put this into practice? The next time you find yourself worrying about something outside your control, or feeling frustrated by another person's behavior, pause. Take a deep breath. Ask yourself, is this truly up to me? If it's not, then practice the radical act of letting go. Consciously redirect your focus back to what you can control. Your attitude, your effort, your response. This isn't easy. It requires constant vigilance and deliberate practice. But every time you successfully apply this principle, you build an unshakable inner strength that will allow you to navigate life's inevitable storms with remarkable calm and unwavering confidence. This is the ultimate freedom. 2. True strength isn't about being fearless in popular culture. Strength is often portrayed as the absence of fear, a heroic figure who never wavers, never doubts, never feels a tremor of anxiety. But this is a dangerous misconception that sets us up for failure and self-criticism. We tend to believe that if we feel fear, it means we are weak, and so we try to suppress it, deny it, or run from it. Yet, the unvarnished truth, as understood by the Stoics, is that true strength is not the absence of fear, but the ability to act wisely and virtuously in its presence. Fear is a natural, primal human emotion. It's a signal, a warning system, designed to protect us. Even the most courageous warrior feels fear. The difference is that the strong person doesn't let fear paralyze them or dictate their actions. They acknowledge the fear, understand its source, and then consciously choose a response that aligns with their values and objectives, rather than being swept away by the raw emotion. The Stoics didn't teach us to be emotionless robots. They taught, use to master our emotions to prevent them from becoming our masters. They understood that courage isn't the feeling of not being afraid. It's the willingness to do what is necessary despite the fear. This shift in perspective is incredibly liberating, especially for those of us who carry the burden of feeling like we shouldn't be afraid. Think about a public speaker who feels butterflies in their stomach before a presentation. The weak speaker allows that fear to consume them, leading to a hesitant, unconvincing delivery. The strong speaker, however, acknowledges the butterflies, takes a deep breath, and then steps onto the stage, channeling that nervous energy into a powerful and engaging performance. The fear is still there, but it doesn't control them. This principle encourages you to lean into your fears, not to avoid them. Every time you face a fear and choose to act despite it, Whether it's having a difficult conversation starting, a new project, or stepping outside your comfort zone, you are not just overcoming fear, you are building profound courage and inner resilience. You are proving to yourself, quietly but powerfully, I can handle this. So how do you practice this? The next time you feel fear, instead of immediately labeling it as bad or trying to push it away, pause. Acknowledge it. Say to yourself, okay, I feel fear, and that's okay. Then ask yourself, what is the wise and virtuous action here, even if I'm afraid? Focus on taking that single, intentional step. Remember, courage is not a grand, sweeping gesture. It's a series of small, deliberate actions taken in the face of fear. When you consistently practice this, you don't just become stronger. You become truly courageous. And that is a confidence that radiates from deep within. 3. Embrace the present moment in our modern lives. We often find ourselves mentally residing anywhere but the present moment. We replay past regrets, constantly analyzing what-if scenarios, or we project ourselves into the future, consumed by worries about what might happen. This constant mental time travel prevents us from truly experiencing and engaging with the only reality that actually exists, the here and now. The result is often a subtle yet pervasive sense of anxiety, disconnection, and a feeling that life is constantly slipping through our fingers. The Stoics, particularly Marcus Aurelius, were fervent advocates for living fully in the present moment. They understood that the past is gone and cannot be changed, and the future is uncertain and largely beyond our control. The only sphere of action, the only arena where we truly have power, is this very moment. By focusing our attention and energy on the present, we unlock a profound sense of peace, clarity, and effectiveness. Think about a perfectly crafted piece of pottery. Its beauty lies not in its past formation or its future use, but in its present form, its texture, its presence, right now. Similarly, the richness of life is found in the current experience, not in a longing for what was or a fear of what will be. When your mind is constantly pulled elsewhere, you miss the quiet beauty, the subtle opportunities, and the genuine connections that are unfolding right before you. This principle encourages you to cultivate a mindful awareness of your surroundings and your inner experience. When you are eating, truly taste the food. When you are listening to a loved one, genuinely hear their words without formulating your next response. When you are working on a task, immerse yourself fully in it. This intentional engagement with the present moment not only deepens your experience, but also enhances your performance. So, how do you cultivate this powerful presence? Practice simple mindfulness exercises throughout your day. For example, when you are washing your hands, focus on the sensation of the water, the scent of the soap. When you are walking, notice your breath, the feel of your feet on the ground. When your mind inevitably wanders to the past or future, gently bring it back to the present without judgment. This is not about forcing your mind to be still. It's about gently guiding it back, again and again, to the only moment where life truly happens. Every time you consciously choose to be present, you are not just calming your mind. You are reclaiming your life, one precious moment at a time. This is the art of truly living. 4. Focus on what you can control, not what you can't. This powerful principle often called the dichotomy of control, is the cornerstone of Stoic practice and arguably the single most impactful idea for cultivating inner calm and confidence. It's elegantly simple. In life, some things are within your control, and some things are not. Your profound responsibility and the key to your peace of mind lies in clearly distinguishing between the two and relentlessly focusing your energy only on what is within your power. We often waste immense amounts of mental and emotional energy agonizing over things that are fundamentally outside our influence. We worry about the weather, the economy, other people's opinions, global events, past mistakes, or even future outcomes that may never materialize. This constant struggle against the uncontrollable is the primary source of frustration, anxiety, and profound unhappiness. When you try to control the uncontrollable, you set yourself up for inevitable disappointment and emotional turmoil. Epictetus, one of the most practical Stoic philosophers, famously taught that our external circumstances are largely indifferent to our desires. He used the analogy of an archer. The archer controls their bow, their arrow, their technique, and their release. But they cannot control the wind, a sudden bird flying by, or the ultimate trajectory of the arrow after it leaves the bow. A wise archer focuses on mastering their craft and accepts that the final outcome is not entirely within their command. Their peace comes from knowing they did their best with what was in their control. So, how do you apply this liberating principle? The next time you feel stressed, worried, or frustrated, pause. Take a deep breath. Draw a clear line in the sand. Ask yourself, is this situation, this outcome, this person's behavior truly within my direct control? If the answer is no, then practice the profound act of letting go. Accept what is, and then immediately redirect your attention and energy to something you can influence. This might mean focusing on your attitude toward a difficult situation, your effort in a challenging task, your preparation for an uncertain event, or your response to someone else's hurtful words. Every time you successfully shift your focus from the uncontrollable to the controllable, you reclaim your power, reduce unnecessary suffering, and cultivate an unshakable inner peace that remains untouched by the external chaos of the world. This isn't about apathy. It's about strategic self-mastery, allowing you to live with greater calm, confidence, and unwavering purpose. 5. Detach from external outcomes in our results-driven society. We are often conditioned to tie our self-worth and happiness directly to external outcomes. A promotion, a certain income level, a specific relationship status, the approval of others, or material possessions. We believe that if we achieve these external things, then we will finally be happy, successful, and content. But this makes our inner peace incredibly fragile, perpetually dependent on factors that are often beyond our complete control. When outcomes don't align with our desires, we experience profound disappointment, self-doubt, and a shattering of our confidence. Detachment, in the Stoic sense, does not mean indifference or a lack of effort. It means putting in your absolute best effort, striving for excellence with all your might, but then releasing your rigid attachment to the specific outcome. It's about understanding that while you control your actions, your effort, and your intentions, the final result is often influenced by countless variables outside your sphere of influence. True inner peace comes from finding your satisfaction in the effort itself, in the virtue of your actions, rather than solely in the external reward. Consider an athlete training for a competition. They control their diet, their training regimen, their discipline, and their mindset, but they cannot control their opponent's performance. A sudden injury, a judge's decision, or even the weather on game day. A wise athlete focuses on their preparation and their performance, and while they desire victory, their self-worth is not crushed if they lose, because they know they gave their best. Their confidence remains intact because it's rooted in their effort, not just the medal. This principle liberates you from the anxiety of chasing external validation and the fear of failure. When you detach from outcomes, you are free to act courageously, to take risks, and to pursue your goals with the lightness of being. You do your best, and then you accept whatever unfolds, knowing that your character and your peace are unassailable. So, how do you practice this liberating detachment? When you embark on a new project, a new relationship, or a new endeavor, define what is within your control, your effort, your honesty, your preparation, and what is outside your control, the markets, reaction, the other person's feelings, unpredictable events. Then, commit fully to your part and release the rigid expectation of a specific outcome. Every time you do this, you strengthen your inner core, build a confidence that is not easily shaken, and find a profound sense of peace that comes from knowing you are acting virtuously, regardless of external results. This is the pathway to true resilience and lasting satisfaction. 6. Don't resist what is this truth. Closely related to focusing on what you can control, delves into the profound importance of acceptance. Our natural human inclination, when faced with an unpleasant reality, a setback, a disappointment, an inconvenient truth, is to resist it, to fight against it, to wish it weren't so. We might deny it, complain endlessly, or even try to force a different outcome that simply isn't available. But this resistance, this futile struggle against what is already true or already happening, is the primary source of much of our emotional anguish and suffering. Life in its inherent nature is constantly in flux. It doesn't always go the way we want it to. There are days when meticulously crafted plans fall apart, when circumstances beyond our influence derail our best intentions, or when profound injustices occur seemingly without rhyme or reason. In those moments, our instinctive reaction is often to blame, to get angry, to descend into self-pity, or to simply wish reality were different. We spend countless hours replaying the past, lamenting missed opportunities, or wishing people would change. But this resistance changes nothing in the external world. It only intensifies our internal torment, creating a deep well of frustration and unhappiness. The Stoics taught acceptance not as passive resignation, but as an active, deliberate embrace of reality. It's about acknowledging what is without judgment, without struggle, and without the need for it to be different, so you can then decide how to respond virtuously and effectively within that reality. Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher-emperor, often reminded himself to accept the things to which fate binds you, and love the people with whom fate brings you together, but do so with all your heart. This means wholeheartedly engaging with the present reality, even if it's not what you desired, and finding your freedom in your response. Think about a swimmer trying to fight against a strong current. They will exhaust themselves, get nowhere, and risk drowning. But a wise swimmer learns to work with the current, to use its energy, to flow with it, and to navigate effectively within its bounds. Life is much like that current. The currents are the circumstances, events, and people that are simply there, trying to force them to be different or to go against their nature, is a futile exercise that only leads to exhaustion and suffering. So, when a setback occurs, when someone behaves in a way you find unacceptable, or when a situation unfolds contrary to your expectations, pause. Instead of immediately resisting or complaining, ask yourself, can I change this external reality? If the answer is no, then practice the profound act of acceptance. This doesn't mean you like it, approve of it, or condone it. It simply means you acknowledge it for what it is, without emotional attachment or internal struggle. From that place of calm acceptance, you can then choose your next deliberate, intentional action. This principle is incredibly empowering because it shifts your focus from a fruitless external battle to an internal mastery of your mind. When you stop resisting what is, you free up immense mental and emotional energy that was previously consumed by struggle. This energy can then be redirected toward productive solutions, creative adaptation, and the cultivation of an unshakable inner peace. 7. Practice intentional silence in our incredibly noisy, hyper-connected world, where everyone seems to be constantly striving to be heard, to express an opinion, or to fill every moment with sound. Intentional silence has become a rare and profoundly powerful act. We often feel compelled to speak, to react, to offer our thoughts, even when we have nothing meaningful to contribute. But the Stoics understood that true strength and wisdom often reside not in the abundance of words, but in the power of thoughtful quietude. Intentional silence is not merely the absence of sound. It is the presence of deep listening, careful observation, and inner reflection. When you choose to be silent, you create space for clarity to emerge. You allow yourself to truly hear what others are saying, to fully process a situation, and to formulate a response that is measured, wise, and impactful, rather than impulsive and potentially regrettable. Consider the difference between someone who blurts out the first thing that comes to mind in a heated discussion and someone who pauses, listens intently, and then speaks with deliberate thought. The latter individual immediately commands respect and projects an aura of wisdom. Their words carry more weight precisely because they are not wasted on every triviality. This principle is about mastering your tongue and, by extension, mastering your mind. Seneca advised, if you want to know yourself, withdraw from society. In the quietude, away from the constant noise and external demands, you can truly listen to your own thoughts, examine your own beliefs, and discern what genuinely matters. This self-awareness is the foundation of genuine confidence. So, how do you practice intentional silence? Start by incorporating deliberate moments of quiet into your day. Turn off notifications. Put away your phone. During conversations, resist the urge to interrupt or formulate your reply while the other person is speaking. Instead, practice active, empathetic listening, giving the other person your full, calm attention. Before you speak, ask yourself, is this necessary? Is this kind? Is this useful? If the answer is no to any of these, then choose silence. This practice isn't about being aloof or distant. It's about being present, thoughtful, and in control. When you learn to master your words, you don't just communicate more effectively. You cultivate an inner stillness that radiates confidence and competence. Your very presence becomes a testament to your self-mastery, a quiet strength that speaks volumes without uttering a single unnecessary word. In a loud world, the calmest voice often holds the most power. 8. See things as they truly are. One of the most insidious ways we lose our calm and confidence is by constantly distorting reality. We add layers of judgment, fear, and personal narratives to situations, making them appear far worse or more threatening than they actually are. We catastrophize, personalize, and assume the worst, often based on incomplete information or irrational fears. This mental habit creates immense internal suffering, making us react to imagined problems rather than the objective facts. The Stoics were realists. They taught us to strip away these layers of subjective interpretation and see things for what they truly are: naked facts devoid of emotional coloring. Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, repeatedly practiced this, dissecting situations into their bare components. For example, he wouldn't say, "My advisor is being disrespectful." He might say, "My advisor uttered sounds that are unpleasing to my ears." By doing this, he removed the emotional charge and allowed himself to respond with reason, not reactivity. This practice isn't about being cold or denying your feelings. It's about separating the objective reality from your subjective judgment of it. When you can clearly see what is actually happening, without the fog of your emotions or assumptions, you gain immense clarity and the ability to respond effectively. Consider a professional setback like a project failing. The reactive person might say, "This is a disaster. I'm a complete failure. My career is over." They are adding layers of catastrophic judgment to the objective fact of the project's failure. The person who practices seeing things as they truly are would say, "The project did not meet its objectives. Here are the contributing factors. What can I learn from this? What are the next actionable steps?" This objective assessment allows for learning and forward movement, rather than paralyzing despair. So, how do you cultivate this liberating clarity? When faced with a challenging situation or a strong emotional reaction, pause. Ask yourself, what are the objective facts of this situation, separate from my interpretation or feelings? Challenge your assumptions. Is this truly a disaster? Or is it simply an unexpected outcome? Is this person being rude? Or are they simply expressing their opinion in a way you find unpleasing? By constantly questioning your immediate judgments and seeking the objective truth, you dismantle the power of irrational fear and cultivate a mind that is grounded in reality. This practice builds not just calm, but an unshakable confidence that comes from seeing the world and your place within it with profound clarity and wisdom. 9. Adversity is a teacher, not a tormentor. Our natural human inclination is to avoid adversity at all costs. We perceive challenges, setbacks, and difficult times as inherently bad, as obstacles to our happiness and progress. When something goes wrong, we often ask, "Why me?" or feel like we're being punished. But for the Stoics, this perspective was fundamentally flawed. They believed that adversity was not something to be feared or avoided. It was, in fact, an indispensable teacher, a crucible in which true character is forged, and an unparalleled opportunity for profound growth. Consider this profound shift in perspective. What if every single difficulty you face is not a punishment, but a meticulously designed test? What if every setback isn't a dead end, but a hidden pathway to a deeper understanding of yourself and the world? When viewed through this Stoic lens, adversity transforms from a source of suffering into a powerful catalyst for personal evolution. It's like a sculptor uses a hammer and chisel, seemingly inflicting pain on the stone, but ultimately revealing the masterpiece within. Think about the most resilient and successful individuals you know, those who inspire you with their unwavering spirit. Did their strength emerge from a life of effortless ease, or was it forged in the fires of significant challenges, painful failures, and relentless obstacles? Often it's the latter. They didn't just endure hardship, they actively leveraged it, extracting invaluable lessons and developing new capabilities. They understood that comfort makes us soft, but adversity makes us strong. The Stoic philosopher Seneca eloquently expressed this idea. Difficulty strengthens the mind, as labor does the body. He encouraged us to welcome challenges, to see them as invitations to practice virtue, to develop resilience, and to sharpen our problem-solving skills. When you encounter a problem, don't immediately ask, "Why me?" Instead, ask, "What is this trying to teach me? How can I use this to become stronger, wiser, and more compassionate?" So how do you practically embrace adversity as a teacher? When the next challenge arrives, resist the urge to immediately complain or succumb to despair. Instead, consciously frame it as an opportunity. Ask yourself, what new skill or insight can I develop from this experience? How can this situation help me cultivate more patience, more courage, or more adaptability? What invaluable lesson can I gain from this that I wouldn't have learned otherwise? This doesn't mean you won't feel pain, frustration, or disappointment. It means you won't allow those feelings to define your entire experience. You will acknowledge them, process them, and then consciously choose to focus on the growth potential inherent in the difficulty. Because when you embrace adversity as a teacher, you don't just survive challenges. You actively leverage them to become the strongest, most resilient, and most confident version of yourself. This is the true alchemy of Stoicism, turning suffering into profound strength. 10. Patience is a quiet strength in our immediate gratification culture, where everything is available at the click of a button, and success is often portrayed as an overnight phenomenon. Patience is seen as a weakness, a passive waiting. We are conditioned to rush, to push, to demand instant results. But this constant haste often leads to impulsive decisions, burnout, frustration, and ultimately, a profound lack of lasting success or inner peace. We confuse speed with progress and constant action with effective action. The Stoics, in stark contrast, understood that patience is not passivity. It is a profound, active strength. It is the ability to endure, to persist, to wait for the opportune moment, and to trust that consistent, virtuous effort will eventually yield its fruits, even if the timeline is not what we initially desired. It is the quiet confidence that the universe unfolds at its own pace, and that true mastery requires disciplined persistence, not frantic rushing. Think about the growth of a mighty oak tree. It doesn't burst forth overnight. It begins as a tiny acorn, slowly, patiently drawing nourishment from the earth, weathering storms and gradually expanding its roots and branches over decades, even centuries. Its strength and longevity come precisely from its unhurried, consistent growth. If it tried to rush its development, it would be fragile and easily broken. This principle encourages you to cultivate a long-term perspective. Instead of fixating on immediate results or becoming discouraged by slow progress, focus on the integrity of your daily actions and the consistency of your effort. Trust the process, even when the desired outcome seems distant. This patience reduces anxiety, allows for thoughtful decision-making, and prevents the impulsive actions that often derail our best intentions. So, how do you cultivate this quiet strength? When you embark on a new goal or face a challenging situation that requires sustained effort, commit to the process, not just the outcome. Break down large goals into small, manageable, consistent daily actions. Celebrate small victories, but don't become overly attached to specific timelines. When you feel impatient, pause. Remind yourself, great things take time. My consistent effort, applied patiently, will bear fruit. This isn't about laziness or inaction. It's about discerning the difference between productive action and frantic, inefficient rushing. It's about knowing when to push and when to gracefully wait. When you embody patience, you radiate a calm confidence that understands success is not a sprint, but a marathon played out with unwavering determination and strategic wisdom. You become someone who understands that true progress unfolds step by step, day by day, and that this quiet strength will ultimately take you where haste never could. We've just gone through 10 profound Stoic insights designed to help you cultivate unwavering calm and unshakable confidence in every facet of your life. These aren't just abstract ideas. They are powerful, actionable tools that have been used by warriors, emperors, and everyday individuals for thousands of years to navigate chaos with grace, resilience, and profound inner peace. Remember, your mindset is everything. It's not the external events that determine your fate, but your responses to them. You have the power to control your mind, to choose calm over chaos, confidence over doubt, and intentional action over reactive impulses. This journey to self-mastery is not about avoiding life's storms. It's about becoming the unshakable anchor within them. If this discussion resonated deeply within you, if it sparked a flicker of insight or offered a fresh perspective you hadn't considered before, please take a moment to hit the like button right now. Your support genuinely helps this vital wisdom reach more individuals who are earnestly seeking to cultivate their own inner strength. I'd love to hear your story in the comments below. What specific principle resonated most profoundly with you today? What challenging situation are you currently navigating where applying one of these principles could make a real difference? Your insights might be precisely what someone else needs to hear, exactly when they need it most. If you know someone who could genuinely benefit from cultivating unshakable calm and confidence, consider sharing this video with them. And most importantly, if you haven't already, subscribe to StoicCraft. Your profound journey to self-mastery is only just beginning, and there is so much more valuable content, insightful lessons, and practical strategies yet to come, all meticulously designed to help you cultivate a powerful mindset, take absolute control of your life, and become the strongest, most authentic version of yourself. Thank you for being here, for your courage in embracing this wisdom. And now go forth, radiating calm confidence in every step.